And I'm very, very happy to be joined now by the Minister from Nigeria, Mrs. Diezani Alison Madueke. Thank you so much, Madam, for taking the time to join us. Now, we've come to the end of the year pretty much, and one thing that all of the ministers are talking about, it's been a tough year dealing mainly with the uncertainties in the market. But we look at the end of the year and the OPEC, the price for Brent crude will probably average about $112 for the year. So it hasn't been that bad, actually. You've managed to get through well.
I think so. I think we've all been surprised that the price of crude has maintained these levels, I think unprecedented in the history of crude oil prices. Having said that, it's also been offset, as you know, by a lot of the situations in the global economies, particularly in Europe. And we're looking at that very carefully. The non-oil, the non-OPEC countries are also producing quite progressively. So coming into 2013, I think it has been a general consensus that we must balance it out by rolling over our production caps and ensuring that by doing so we keep a certain stability in the market.
And ultimately, I mean, that is what OPEC has always said they will do. And we're looking at a time when there's plenty of supply on the market right now. Some might say a danger of oversupply, but we haven't. They've been saying that for a few months, and we haven't actually seen any issues with regards to that.
I think it's because of that, exactly that we've been quite conservative and simply rolled over the cap to ensure that we don't go overboard either way. But we've also made it clear that we would be very quick to respond to any changes in the dynamics of the marketplace at this point in time.
When you look ahead for next year, for 2013, where do you see the big challenges that all of the ministers need to be looking very carefully at?
Well, I think that, as was discussed today, it will clearly be the fact that the non-OPEC countries are producing quite a lot, and that's increasing even as we speak. So there's that. There's also, of course, the fact that the US and the shale production is also progressing steadily, and again, that will have a major impact on the OPEC production quotas as well. It's a good thing, but at the same time it affects the OPEC quotas in an adverse manner. So we're looking at all that and looking at the balance between all of them.
Tell me, how are things going in your own country? I know you've been very busy with the Petroleum Bill, and that has been progressing. Any sign of that coming into law?
Well, it's already gone through the second reading in the House of Representatives, the lower chamber. The Senate will be looking at it early in January. However, there is still ongoing concern by the multinationals, the international oil companies, and also some of the independents on the fiscal regimes that cover the production sharing contracts, where government take has been increased quite a bit, I think, for the first time in a long time. And we are still in ongoing discussions with them to try and ensure that, if it is possible, we meet a little more closely than we have so far, whilst the bill is being passed through the National Assembly.
And production in your country, are you happy with production levels at the moment? Or are you hoping that we might see a bit more increase in the year to come?
Well, we've had a few issues, particularly with the unprecedented flooding, which has happened and which affected some of our production. There were also a couple of incidents with major pipelines, a fire in one and vandalization in another, that caused a drop, but it's already beginning to stabilize. So again, we think that by the first quarter next year, we will be fully back on track with that.